All the Mods 7 just had a massive update, almost at 300 mods. They've added Mechanism, Forbidden and Arcanus, Applied Energistics, and many more. So I figured with a lot of people starting out new All the Mods 7 worlds, I'd go ahead and give you 7 All the Mods 7 tips. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. If you like this, drop a like. If you want more, subscribe. Let's get to the first tip. Tip number 1. All the Mods 7 running on Minecraft 1.18 after the Caves and Cliff update. So that means that it now has different ore generation. And in the mod pack right now, there is conflicting information where if you look at the quests tab, it'll show you for all the modium, for example, to find it in the ocean biome, which I believe is a thing of the past, or the mod 6, because if you look at the JEI or the just enough inventory screen and hover over all the mod ore, you'll see that it in fact spawns in mountainous biome. So I went looking around, I was checking around in the ocean, but I could not find any, but I went over to a mountain biome, which by the way, are now called 6 different biomes. That includes meadows, groves, snowy slopes, jagged peaks, frozen peaks, and stony peaks. They are all considered a mountain biome, and so I ended up finding some Allthemodium ore in the snowy slopes. So that tells me that the information in the JEI is correct and hopefully can be trusted moving forward. Also, all the other ores will tell you exactly where to find them, what area to find them in. The Y level is very important. As you can see, for things like gold, iron, diamonds, it'll show you a graph exactly where to look at. If you click on the world generation tab, you can find it right there yourself and know exactly where to find these ores. Tip number 2, the journey map. All the Mod 7 includes the journey map, which is basically a improved version of the map from All the Mod 6. You have so many more options, so much customization options as well. You can see cave levels, you can see topography, you can see almost everything. You can say toggle between nighttime and daytime. It's very cool. There are a lot of things to play around with in here, as you can see on the screen right now. By default, the key to open the journey map is J, so go ahead and do that when you open your world and have some fun with it. It's very cool to figure out all the things you can do with this. So yeah, just have fun with that one, and let's get to tip number 3, which I think is a small tip, but one I think that should be shared nonetheless. When you're starting out and you're running around the open world trying to gather resources, grab some flowers. Grab some flowers for dye. A lot of machine recipes and recipes that you're not sure of yet require a lot of these dyes, like blue dyes, or a recipe that I'm going to show you coming up is a purple dye. So grabbing flowers for dye early is something that I've started to do lately, and it's been really handy just having to not go out and look for flowers when I need some dye. So that's just a quick tip I'd like to chuck in there. Let's move on to tip number 4, the sophisticated backpack. Now, in All the Mod 7, there is no dank mod. The dank mod is a mod that was in All the Mod 6, where you could set it so if you picked up a certain item, it would go into your dank and get stored into there, and you can set it to hold a certain amount, or you could set it to void certain things. That was very useful for mining and collecting, too much cobblestone would always clog up your inventory and become a problem. So the dank is missing in All the Mod 7, but sophisticated backpacks has so many uses, one being a void upgrade, which functions as a dank. So if you're wondering, this is one of the best void options in the game right now, not to mention the plethora of other upgrades you can have a look at here. And I mean, there's magnet, there's auto pickup, there's auto smelt, auto feeding. There's so much stuff in there. It's really good. Not to mention as well the amazing inventory space that it gives you. So definitely craft a sophisticated backpack as soon as you can and look to upgrade it all the way up to netherite for the most upgrade slots and the most inventory spaces. Speaking of inventory spaces, tip number 5, the tool belt. This was in All the Mod 6 and it's back in All the Mod 7. One of my favorite little quality of life mods. Craft yourself a tool belt, craft some pouches for extra slots in your tool belt, chuck it on ya, and now you can swap between tools by holding R and accessing a scroll wheel. Very handy when you need to save inventory space and basically dedicate one of your hotbar slots to tools. If you're still watching at this point, thank you so much. Consider subscribing for more of this content. I'm doing an All the Mod 6 playthrough right now on my channel. go check that out. I'd really appreciate it. Also, these tips may or may not cross over with All the Mod 6 as well. So if you try any of these tips in All the Mod 7, if it's a mod in All the Mod 6, it should work, and vice versa. My All the Mod 6 tips videos should have some crossover into the All the Mod 7 tip videos as well. Tip number 6, the warp stone. I just learned this recently. The warp stone, also used to make a waystone, can teleport you back home wherever you are. Well, it can teleport you to any waystone from wherever you are. You need purple dye, you need an emerald, I believe, and ender pearls. But yeah, this is a nice, useful one. I'm gonna keep a warp stone on me wherever I go, really. And I imagine it can get me out of tricky situations as well, deep down in the mine shaft. So nice little handy tip right there. Reminds me of a magic mirror from Terraria, if anyone knows that reference. And then finally, tip number 7, the last tip, is an easy way to move around villages if you want to set up a villager trading hall, or any mob really. It is the mob yoinker. Now, to craft this, you need leads, you need iron bars, and you need copper. After that, you can shift right click on any mob to pick them up at the cost of, I believe, 20 XP. So it is not completely free to use, so use it wisely, but a very, very simple way to move mobs around. I'll definitely be using this to move villagers around when I want to create a trading hall to get those juicy enchants. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and take care. See ya.